LSsimple man here. We got a 71 Cutlass 442, aka Holy Guacamole. That'd be HG for short, and the people in the know. Alright, we got a A-body, classic A-body. Oldsmobile type motor was in here. They take the old school motor out, and they got the little short stands that sit towards the back. You can get Chevelle, small block Chevy stands, and move them towards the front, but I just turn the mounts around and use our extension kit. The evaporator box was broken where they forced some big block Olds headers in here, and we got another box located. Going to change the evaporator out to a more modern one, and the condenser and all, and we're early on in it right now. We're gonna kind of step by step it here. So Oldsmobile stands, or say if you got an A-body Chevelle, you'd have the stands more towards the front. You can buy stands, unbolt them, put them on there, but I'll show you how to use what you got. All right, AC box is on. Took the front case was broke, so I'd get a used one and clean it up and doodad it and get the evaporator in there. And I made my own gasket. I cleaned it all real good, and where your dum-dum used to go, I took some black sealer and made a gasket and let it harden. And then that made a gasket that'll be there when I take it apart. It'll just come off, and it'll be like a rubber seal made for it. I'm gonna use the original stands, and we're about ready to set the motor in. That'll be next. We'll do our motor mounts, and we'll get the next thing going. But that's the AC box, just the factory box with an updated evaporator, orifice tube, and dryer setup. So to clear on it, using the stands, you move the mount towards the rear and use our little strap kit, and that gets you clear of the steering on the A-body. And then you use a 302-1 type pan, because you need it to sit closer to the cross member, suspension cross member, and clear that. Yeah, next to headers and stuff, but that's how you clear in an A-body. See the little strap kits, that great, the silver pieces right there. And then I'm using the same Oldsmobile stand for a 350, and then change it, and have to do it like this, and then it clears the steering. You know, that's the problem on these cars too. And we're not completely level where we're gonna go, but close. Yeah, and then use the factory cross member, but it'll have to be butchered and hacked and rearranged. We're basically going to take the amount of this mount out of that. So we'll go on top of this and underneath that. It's the cross member we got. We're going to use it. It's made for dual exhaust, you know. It'll be perfect. It'll be freaking wonderful. Alright, we got the easy part of the A-body now. You can do either AC or power steering. Always put like the pump into the bracket naked without a pulley. We can add that last, and then we'd add the tensioner to the AC last. And then start with first you want to loosen all your nuts to the tip end, so it's not very far to go. And you take this one and loosen it up to the tip end, and then make sure you got all these holes cleaned out. Just clean them all out. All these holes, clean them. Just use a bolt and some kind of penetrating fluid or WD-40 or something like that. All right, and then I've taken them all to the loose. I can get that right quick. And it would help if you was a little more agile. But the little plastic nuts, you can just let them drop. You can pick them up later. Take this rascal like this and start that bolt right there. And since you cleaned it out, it moves easy. And then come to your next one underneath, So it's holding it for me right there. I've got enough threads in there. It ain't going nowhere. And I use long bolts, so it's really easy. All right, so I got them two started. Comes all put together. This is the latest and greatest LSSAC bolt to head, BTH. And you see, I'm not really holding it. The bolts are. As long as you don't lean on it and lay all over it, it'll stay right there. And then this is the pulley that goes on here. And you can add that here in a little bit. All right, and you've already got two started, three started, because all the holes are clean. And this is new bolts, so you're not fighting it. You have to kind of plan ahead a little bit. All right, that's the AC side, really, other than tightening things up. And this is the pulley that goes up top. And then now do the power steering. Same thing on it. All the plastic nuts to the tip end, tip end, tip end, and then tip end. And then this is why last time I dropped that spacer is because I was worried about this stupid plastic nut. Just let the dude fly, you know what I'm saying? We can get him later. Pick it up, the whole thing, because you just got the pump on there, it's not too bad. And then you can start what's called the north bolt. All right, we get a little bit more power under here. There we go. And then the bolts are long enough so you can leave the other plastic nuts on there. All right, and then I've got enough threads in there that kind of holds it. And in the line now, I don't even have to go under it to mess the power steering hose because I already put this metal tube in there. Those work out really good. It's just off of another version of the Chevy truck hoses. And then I just line them up like that. And like that. And then you can put your pulley on last, or you could put it on before. It would just be a little bit more to handle. And then go under here to get your last bolt. And like I said, clean all these holes out. Don't clean them all, but some of them, just clean them all. These are M10s, you just use a bolt and clean them up. And then we've already pretty well put it on by hand because they don't use an impact to put it together. I mean, you can use an impact to take it apart, but now, unless you're really good at it, I can do it without tearing that stuff up. But whenever you see a flat wash, lot washer has been made into a ring. A little bit too much effort on it. All right, and the alternator is pretty easy to do. Go ahead and put it in the bracket. So we're going to have this bolt handy, because this is going to be the easiest way to put that on and have it handy. This is a lock nut. It comes off first, and then you screw the other bolt out. That'll be the only thing. Your whole car can fall apart. That nut ain't coming out. And then kind of just swing this guy. Since I just got all the bolts started, you know, a good bit, I can take this right here, flip it that way, set it over here away from it, take your alternator, figure out which guy this guy is, take your bolt, run it through there, washer, lock washer, nut. That's the way they made Hondas. They don't come apart. Alright, so now I've got that dude on there. Then I can swing this guy over. And this just makes it easy. You can do it 1,000 ways. There's a lot of ways to do these swaps, but this tends to be the easiest. Alright, so latest and greatest bolt to head. And now if you want to put a LS3 water pump on there, you know, you can tighten all these bolts up and to spec, but that's it. All the stuff's on there now. And this pulley here, what I do, I tape it on here where you know where it goes. You tighten all these up. This comes off. You don't tighten this one. You tighten all these four right here. Boom, boom, boom. These two here, and that's done. And these All the bolts are in the holes. So next we'll go into doing some other stuff on it, but that's the front of the motor. And then what's cool about this is whatever makes it truck spacing water pump you can put on there, and if it ever fails you can take it off without pulling anything, just the bolts and the hoses. So you could use a truck with a gooseneck 06 back, 07 up with a short one, a LS1 type bale type water pump with spacers that makes truck spacing, and an LS3 water pump. And keep filming that. I'm gonna grab a water pump right quick. So now this comes right in here. You put your gaskets on there, and once you tighten that up, you know, it's not going to be the bolt sticking out. It goes right in there, and you take it right out, put any kind of, as long as it's truck spacing, because that's the truck crank pulley. You know, this is the same as a 2010 up LS3 Camaro, and then this is a 2010 up LS3 Camaro, and we had to do a little grinding there because the casting was too fat to go right there under the head. But we'll get into the next segment on the next part. A little more work done on our A-body. Got our AC hose in, air intake on, hydro boost is on, master cylinder on. We got to get another wiper motor, and the upper A-frames are going to be changed out. We got our power steering on there, got our hoses being made, and already got the AC charged up. We're making some more progress.